Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
Hey!
Season 2.
Season 2, coming at you. It's all about you, ABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, lifestyle, so that you walk away with some value, feeling inspired. And the way that we like to do that is to answer the questions that you may have or interview the guests that you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out using the hashtag above or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, Vision Mortgage Home Loan Expert.
Home loan expert, but you probably recognize Grant as the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team, but now he is actually just crushing it in the mortgage game.
You're thinking to yourself, where have I seen this guy? Was it HGTV's House Hunters? Yeah, and he's also part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in New Mexico.
Yeah, no, that's a great intro. Season 2 is off to a good start. Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Dr. Michelle Bean is in the studio today to talk about breast cancer awareness, which, you know, it's touched everybody's lives. It's a big talking point nationwide, but also locally. So I'm excited to meet her.
Right, affected a big part of my mom's side of the family. Again, everyone can relate to this, guy or girl. Like you know someone who's been affected, and what a danger and basically the premise of a lot of people passing away. So I'm glad to have her on here. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah, switching gears.
Yeah.
We had a big shoot. You were gone. You got deported last week, right?
Yeah, I went to deport of Seattle. Yeah, so I went back home.
I got your ankle monitor.
What are you, rich? Yeah, I went back to Victoria.
I've been to Victoria, Canada, Victoria, BC.
Yeah, British Columbia, finest province of them all.
It is, and I've spent 2 Canada days in Canada. Spoiler: one of them was in BC, Victoria.
Yeah.
Also went to jail there.
Yeah, McDonald's incident. We can cover a whole episode on that. On our some things we could be blackmailed on, but not if we blackmail ourselves. Then what are you gonna do? Yeah, so I went to Victoria. It's on Vancouver Island, and the reputation of the place is for the nearly dead or newlywed. There is a hot tub boat we went on to.
That's pretty
where
sick.
they just make human soup out of you. There were no bubbles or anything. We set out to sea for about an hour and a half.
Is there a captain? I can't see.
Yes, my brother-in-law.
So you have you just steer yourself?
Yeah, it's going it has half a horsepower, so you can't get yourself in trouble. What you can do is watch shipping barges almost kill you, and then you go, oh, I hope you see us.
So it's meant to be like a booze cruise. They have speakers built in.
There was a speaker that was not built into it. There was this teenage kid. I think he played hockey because he kind of acted like a hockey player. This long hair is like, I don't know, man. We're supposed to show you this safety tape. Just stay out of the way of ships. That's the only way you get killed. It's not from going too fast in this slowest boat I ever went to in my life.
So if anyone honks, just move out of the way.
Yeah. So then I indulged in, saw a bunch of flowers, went to Bouchard Gardens. Go ahead and keep running. Oh, there she is. So there's about 85 different of these scenes out there. It's unbelievable this is actually on Earth. I find it to be the prettiest place on Earth. Haven't been everywhere, but I would beg for someone to contend that. Let's go. Yep, there's another portion of it. They have a Japanese garden, different English gardens.
Is this on the coast or where is this?
Yeah,
it's a little bit.
It's in Surrey. It's a little bit north of Victoria. So yeah, this it grows kind of effortlessly. You just need a lot of precipitation. There's what we call good times photos, which we show how good of a time we're having. That's Tea at the Empress, pretty big deal. English tradition. It's what Queen Victoria used to do, and that's why they call the hotel the Empress. The Empress is one of the finest hotels in all the Western Hemisphere. Let's go to another picture.
Slide.
That's it. Okay, here's another picture. So I indulge in a lot of things that I like, ketchup, chips, and try these out.
Cheesy?
Cheesies. They're a little bit better than Cheetos. They're like baked Cheetos.
They're like baked Cheetos?
Yeah.
Ooh, these are heavy. Okay, first of all, they got a good weight to them. So I'm curious to figure out what we got going on here. Crunchier, so thicker, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear that at home? Yeah.
What do you think?
I would eat that whole bag.
No, I know you will, and I know he will. We're gonna keep him away from him for the whole.
I'm excited for lunch
episode.
afterwards.
Yeah, it's gonna be cheesies. What'd you do?
Stay tuned to our next segment.
Yeah, just
We're gonna have wet wipes.
orange hands.
Speaking of, so we've been having fun with some marketing stuff going on recently, and we got into we had hired a film crew come through one of our new listings in Corrales. So we have this fantastic property on over an acre in Corrales, and had some fun times doing some tours there. We had the drone out, but I brought this clip. This is if you can roll it. This is our recent shoot that we did at the property, a 30-second home tour. Get some sound going, dude. That's the whole purpose. I'll just do voiceovers.
Yeah.
This is me walking.
Yeah.
This is me talking.
No, it was good. You know what? I think the 30-second segment you did is enough. I think we've been reduced to getting 30 seconds out of somebody, and that's it. And I think that was great. I think you pounded all the features home, and I think you nailed it. Nice piece of property, but it was great. I think that's what we need. Society is so, give it to me fast, and then that's about it. So,
dude, I can't wait till the show's over too.
Yeah, I think everyone wishes the show was 45 seconds and below. We're working on it.
Just watch the show and fast forward. It's the same thing. Now, coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Grant's going to jump into the Mortgage Minute. Stay tuned to the end of the show. We're going to get into Skip's tips, but let's talk a little bit about our real estate market here and kind of what we've seen going on. The Greater Albuquerque Association of Realtors released the report now, just kind of indicating what's going on in our market as far as values continuing to go up. But for the first time, our population's seen a little bit of an increase over the last 5 years, which I think is great. So more buyers, more buyers coming into the market, but fewer homes for them to choose from. As people that have that 2% interest rate on their mortgage, they're not selling their house. So a little bit of a bottleneck, but let's talk a little bit about the Mortgage Minute.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get into what's called recast in our Mortgage Minute. So I've spoke briefly about this concept before, and I want to talk a term about what's called recast. A recast is the ability to have your mortgage in place and then pay another large lump sum towards what you owe on your mortgage. This allows you to get a different amortization. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you had a house that thought you might need a contingency sale, or you're like, Grant, I want to put $100,000 down, but I can't until my house sold. I allow you to put down just 5%. And after the loan is closed, when you do sell that house, you can put all the proceeds towards the loan to get you a lower monthly payment. This gives some people a little bit of breathing room after. This takes place instead of a bridge loan. Bridge loans used to accomplish the same thing, but they're just obsolete now. So let's say that you just only have 5% down, and 3 months later your house sells. Then you are able to actually go put all that money towards your principal, and the lender will give you a new a minimum monthly payment. So that's a huge option for a lot of people that were waiting to get their ducks in a row. Sometimes you don't have to get a house sold to get into the next one. So that's my commentary on recast. If you have any questions, hit me up and I'll settle the dust here. Recast is a great option for many of you that have a purchase contingency.
That's such a good talking point in our market today, because so many buyers are contingent upon the sale of their current home before they get into the new home. But when we talk about recasting, how does that affect? Is the interest rate stay the same? Because I know the payment changes when you pay it on the principal.
It's true. The interest rate does stay the same. It doesn't change the terms, doesn't change the years due. All it does is change the minimum monthly payment. Sometimes I've found it advantageous for someone to actually take their mortgage and get a better mortgage rate because they were at, say, 85 loan to value. It's actually a better rate than if you were at 70. So sometimes you can kind of tweak the system and get a little bit better of a rate by initially putting less down. So there's no disadvantages to it. You can only do it once.
Well, I know a lot of people will put that 5% down and then they get stuck with mortgage insurance. And to my knowledge, there's only a couple of different ways you can get rid of mortgage insurance. Would be to do another appraisal, refinance?
Yeah, and actually a refinance is the only way. Even if you got another appraisal, they want to refinance it being done, or you agree that what the 80% threshold was and you pay it below that. And the recast does just that.
So recast will get rid of your mortgage insurance,
right?
And then lower, so shoot. That could be a win-win for everybody. Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Dr. Michelle Bean's going to be in the studio to discuss breast cancer awareness and their nonprofit. And then, of course, stay to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, dude. We're getting into some
cheese.
Oh.
Skip Tips brought to you by Cheesies.
Sponsored by Cheesies. Stay tuned. This is UABQ. Welcome back to UABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner-broker of Sold by Skip Real Estate here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, Vision Mortgage Home Loan Expert.
Thank you for that, Grant. Thanks for bringing the heat, dude. It's season 2. We're joined by Dr. Michelle Bean and Andrea Hankins about their nonprofit here in Albuquerque, but also in New Mexico, about breast cancer. Pink Me. So we're going to learn about Pink Me, guys. Welcome to the show. Now, again, the show is all about Albuquerque, so it's always interesting to know how people ended up here in Albuquerque. Dr. Michelle Bean, from Florida all the way to Albuquerque?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Well, I had an amazing job opportunity presented to myself, and at the time, the hospital was transitioning to an electronic medical record, and with my experience, I was brought on to the hospital at Christus St. Vincent in Santa Fe.
Awesome.
And been here 14 years.
Love that.
This day.
And then born and raised in Albuquerque.
Born and raised here.
Cibola
Land
kid?
of enchantment. I love
not
it
a
here,
Cibola kid.
I am not. I'm a St. Pius
St.
kid.
Pius.
God,
Yeah.
thank God. Pius. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. Well, great. So, look, let's talk about the pink blazer in the room. Styling, first of all, because here's the thing. When we have guests on the show, we always want to offer them cheesies. So I was going to offer you a cheesy if you've never had them before, just as an icebreaker.
We weren't going to ruin this outfit.
But then you came in hot with the pink.
Well, I have one question.
Yes.
Are they 0 calories?
Oh yeah,
They're not. They're way too good to be 0
but
calories.
at least hold the bag because it does have some weight.
Season
to it.
3, I'm going to be a different person.
What are you going to be?
Obese.
You need an extra wide tablecloth.
Let's talk about, if you don't mind, be a little personal. Tell me how Pink Me became something that came to fruition. Like, where did it stem from?
Well, it stemmed from, in 2016, my twin sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, and 6 weeks later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so we were each other's support system, and at the time, when she was going through her treatments and chemo, I was supporting her financially. And so we both experienced the burden of the financial hardship that this disease does have, within the community. So fast forward a couple years, I was diagnosed again with breast cancer in 2021. Pink Me was founded in 2020, and our vision for Pink Me was to be able to provide a financial resource to women within the community. And so with our financial assistance programs, we wanted to make sure that women did not have to worry about their bills, but to focus on their treatment. And we did have a number of women that applied to our programs, and we noticed that the women were at advanced stages, stage 3, stage 4 breast cancer. So that's where our initiative of Mammograms Matter New Mexico, which we'll talk about a little bit later, came into play.
So how did you become, we'll say, the head of the local chapter, if you will?
I'm the founder and president of Pink Me because, I started the organization because I knew that there was a support need in the community. When I went through my journey looking for different financial resources within the state, I found that there was a gap. And so we wanted to be able to provide that within the state of New Mexico for the women. And of course, we do provide financial assistance, in other states, but we wanted to hone in and make sure that our community of families that are affected by breast cancer did have that financial support.
Okay, well, Michelle, one of the cool things that we were talking about earlier is that it's important to bring awareness to the disease, number one, but also to the prevention, to getting the checkups, and there's a cost associated with that. But what Pink Me does is you guys step in and provide financial assistance for the people in the trenches going through it. Like, I haven't worked in a month. I can't go to work. I'm sick. I mean, who's paying my car bill?
Right.
Tell how does someone employ their options, and how do they get started?
Well, we do have our application online for different ones to apply to our financial assistance program. And we do offer those opportunities 4 times a year, each quarter. And so right now we are on our second quarter. We have been able to support 2 women that are in our breast cancer financial assistance program and 1 woman that's in the Survivor Health and Wellness program. And the breast cancer financial assistance program offers a grant up to $1,500, and the Survivor Health and Wellness offers a grant up to $600.
So the organization is called Pink Me. Now, pink, obviously, for the right reasons. And by the way, you guys look fantastic today.
Thank you.
What exactly does Pink Me mean? What does it stand for?
Pink Me actually is an acronym, and it stands for Providing Information, Networking, Knowledge, My Experience.
So it's a platform where women can go and share their experience, do some networking, and kind of help each other out.
And providing information and different resources within the community.
How have you been able to get your name out there besides this fantastic show?
Which, by the way, we're gonna have links to all these fundraisers here in the show description.
But what has been some of the outlets you've used, or how do you get it out there? I mean, this is the first time I've heard of it, and I'm sure several people have shared the same sentiment.
Yes, we have used our social media platforms to share about our organization, and we've also shared our organization with different hospitals that have been supporters of our programs in the community. And we've also been able to connect with Santa Fe Imaging, also X-Ray Associates of New Mexico. So those are some of our different community partners as well that have helped us.
Okay, so
we also have some local businesses.
Right.
So Carnivore particularly helped us do a fundraiser recently, and they've been a big help. People love their popcorn. So that was so fun. And then we also partnered with Kendra Scott and did a fundraiser in store where if people went shopping, then we got 20% of the proceeds back to our organization. So we really do have some great local partners as well.
It's like she knew I was about to ask, where does the money come from? And you already knew. What other fundraisers or what other type of events should we expect, not only for services, but for fundraising itself? What do you have?
You can donate anytime on our website. So you can always go there. There's a button there to donate. You will get an automated receipt, so you have that for your records if you need it for tax write-off purposes. We also, as far as upcoming events, we have our Mammograms Matter coming up. It's on August 12th, and it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And what that is it's a 3D screening, and we're really trying to remind folks that early detection saves lives. It's really important to go and get checked. Most insurances are accepted, and you can find that information on Assured Imaging.
Yeah, and we can share something. I know our family has shared this before. We'll give up the beans here. Andrea's my cousin.
Spill the beans.
There's this, my mom's side, and how I'm related to Andrea, has a big history with breast cancer. And tell them a little bit about Gloria. So Gloria, we love you. We'll put your name.
Gloria's my grandmother, his aunt. And she is a breast cancer survivor, and one of the big driving forces of getting involved in this organization. I have seen how difficult survivorship can be and just how necessary it is to have that support system. It's something that I personally am very passionate about. She had breast cancer as well as thyroid cancer. We also have several cousins who have had men and women who have had breast cancer. And just the more you start talking to folks and sharing kind of your story, even myself, it's not my personal story, but even just stories of family members, you realize what an impact this disease has on everybody.
You know, it's funny. It isn't personal, but it is, right? Because it's in your household, and it's a touching issue. And whether you're going through it or not, I mean, you have to see a lot of males who also feel it, and you can subscribe to it, and they're empathetic about it. So sometimes, just because it personally didn't happen to you, doesn't mean it's not your issue. I mean, it affects us all. I mean, I feel like that you'd be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't have a story like this. Skip, did you have a question about fundraising or another event? We know you're doing one August 22nd.
August 12th.
Oh, okay. Glad to recap that. I listen like
Close,
a male
you
too.
got you got half of it.
No, but I think it just speaks a lot to the small community of Albuquerque and New Mexico in general. We always like to get the outsider's perspective. Not that you're an outsider, sorry. Florida.
She's one of us now.
Yeah, 14 years she's in.
Yeah, but Florida coming all the way out to the American Southwest in the desert. I mean, what were some of the things that you liked? Some of the things you were like, hell no, get me out of here. And then now, I mean, how has the community been welcoming to you?
I would say the first thing that I noticed was the weather. I love the weather. We're able to see all 4 seasons of the year without it being too extreme. The challenging part, to your second question, the challenging part for me to get acclimated to when I first moved here was the dryness, right? So I'm from Florida, the humidity. So it took some adjustment for me to get acclimated to the dry weather here. And your third question?
Red or green?
Both.
So let's bring some comedy to this segment. How crazy are the bugs in Florida compared to here? Let's talk about that
Like that
part.
in itself would be one reason to get the hell out of here.
There's some weird creatures that live in Florida. Is
Yeah.
there any kind of relief after that? Where the worst we get here is a moth?
I don't miss that part at all.
No, in Florida, you have to actually build, you don't get a back patio, you have to build an outdoor cage to keep the bugs out.
Yeah, the patio.
Even if you want to go
Patio screen and
outside.
porch.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
screen
And
it.
the alligators.
Yeah, and you eat alligator fingers.
And the Sasquatch suspicious buddies. Yeah, and you know what I want to be clear on is we have ABQ, and don't be reluctant to talk about the reach you have in Santa Fe too, right? There's some
Yes.
events going on in Santa Fe. Just because we're called this doesn't mean that we don't push a bigger philanthropy in terms of limited where we are proximity-wise. Like, tell us about some Santa Fe events you're holding too, right?
Yeah, Santa Fe's our sister city. So we do a lot in Santa Fe, coming from Christus St. Vincent. It's been nice that Dr. Michelle has been able to carry over some of her network into the Albuquerque market. We are doing our very first annual 5K walk or run. That's October 21st. That will take place in Santa Fe. And also for folks who may be out of state, we're doing a virtual option for that as well. So you can join us from wherever you are.
A virtual 5K? Is that what you're just
Yeah.
You can just walk along your living room.
Just
You can march in place if you like.
Or your treadmill.
walking so hard.
We could put some good music on for you and just, you can march in place.
Okay.
So we have that coming up. We also have 2 more Mammograms Matter events in Santa Fe coming up, one in September and one in October.
So when you do Mammogram Matters, is that like, so I'm an ignorant guy, is that just like a van that pulls up at your house and then they like...
It will
Start
take place. It will take place at Pink Warrior House in Albuquerque, and that's another organization that we work with who provides resources to breast cancer survivors. It's on Bellama. And so there is a mobile 3D screening unit that will pull up, and if you're signed up, you can go in, get your screening. We'll all cheer for you, give you some snacks, give you some prizes, and just make a fun day of it. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to that.
I kind of like when organizations team up, because I won't say any names, but I've seen some organizations that are pushing for the same thing, and they're almost like, hey, this is my subject. It's great that they're being able to utilize each other, right?
Yes, we do collaborate with each other.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So important to do. So it could be, because I think a lot of times you get some people head of the foundations, and it's more to tout, and they go, you forgot the purpose of this. It was for the help. It was for the charitable acts we have.
Exactly.
Is there something else that you guys want to get out that you think we've missed in our questioning? Because I know there's sometimes always we've start talking about the lack of our ability to run a 5K.
Yeah.
You could walk.
Well, I do want to share the importance of women that have gone through the journey of being diagnosed with breast cancer, that even though after you've gone through that component, it is still important as you're on your survivorship to take care of your overall health and wellness. Like in the case of myself, I did have a recurrence exactly 5 years later of my initial diagnoses. So I do want to share the importance of that continuing journey to have a heightened awareness of your health, your wellness, to continue to get your mammograms, to continue if you're, like in my situation, I can't get mammograms because of the implants, but I have to get my MRIs every year to look at the implants in the breast area. So I do like to encourage women to continue to focus on their overall health and wellness, even though they've gone through the journey.
Okay. So I'm gathering from this, there's an information, obviously, aspect to this, financial support, and maybe some advice, and people, and I feel like maybe it's easy to deliver the education as a survivor, and I don't think you necessarily should have to have been one, but I think people key in and go, hey, so she knows exactly what I'm talking about. I think their ears kind of perk up when they've seen a fellow survivor, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's great you're able to share that. That's pretty brave, too, because I think it might be hard to put that out there and to articulate something painful you've been through is probably a difficult journey, but maybe probably also cathartic, right? To know that you're going to pass this on to other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
for you to be able to break through that wall and just shoulder all that, that you have to take with you with the diagnosis, the medicine, the payments, and then for you to just to be able to turn around and then help everybody else through the hole in the wall, I think that's fantastic.
That's
Yeah,
our
you two
goal.
are both kind of, for Andrea not to have had that personally, but to know, hey, I would never want to see that again. I still
Right.
know what it's like. You guys are two great human beings here on your show.
I just really think it's important for folks to know that they're not alone. I think that's such a huge part of your healing process. And for the families too, to know that there are other families who are experiencing the same trouble, the same, obstacles.
Right.
Well, Pink Me, it's a fantastic organization. And again, what does it stand for? Wait, hold on. Pink stands for knowledge, caring,
Were you going
There's no
conservative
C in
going
pink.
first?
conservatorship. Okay, hold on. Give me Pink Me one more time.
Providing
Providing
information, networking, knowledge,
my
experience.
story. Damn it.
What? Do you even hear the letters?
He said care. There's no C
The
in
problem
pink.
is he blew it in the spelling bee. So then he goes.
I got lost in the pink blazer. We're not used to having cute girls on this show. It's usually just us talking about
Just the other
weightlifting.
hockey players. They also have missing teeth. So sorry.
So Pink Me, fantastic organization. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. We're going to have links to all of your fundraisers in our show notes and everything else. But we want to invite everybody to stay tuned to the following segment. God, as we wrap up the show, great show, by the way.
Very, very touching, thorough. Got a little bit of jokes in.
Stay tuned to the end of the show
Cheesies.
for Skip's Tips. Stay tuned.
We're back, our last segment of UABQ, and thank you for Dr. Michelle Bean and Andrea Hankins with Pick Me Organization. Pretty touching segment. And now let's move over to something a little bit lighter. Not these cheesy bags, though. That's not lighter. Skip's Tips.
Cheez-Its. What are they called? Cheese Me?
Cheesies.
Cheesies. Sponsored by Cheesies. Welcome to Skip's Tips. Anything that saves us time, makes us more money, allows us to have more fun, whether that's real estate or real life. Hey, homes are flying off the shelf. There is no reason to hire a real estate agent in this market. Shoot, anybody can sell a house. Let's explore FSBO, for sale by owner. If you've had any thoughts of selling your home and you've thought, why would I want to pay commissions? Why would I pay somebody else to do this in such a hot market? Well, comment FSBO below and I'm going to give you my 10 steps for getting your home sold without using an agent. You're going to get things like my scripts my scripts that you can use to tell your boss why you have to miss work so you can go show your house. You're going to get this downloadable purchase agreement where you fill in the blanks. You'll probably get sued. So yeah, doing a FSBO, it seems like a great idea, but in the long run, you're going to end up paying more. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh,
Where are we at?
too many cheesies.
Let's get cheesy with it. Are we live?
No, we're live.
Hey, we're back.
Oh, man.
Great episode. Are you homeless? There's
Not
another
too many
homeless
cheesies,
guy in the
man. I
studio.
told you these things are fattening.
No,
Good
no.
episode.
The calories are on a metric system, so it's a lot less.
Yeah, there's actually less gravity.
All right, Wednesday nights, Sunday mornings. This is all about you, ABQ